morning. You're watching Nightline with us today. I am Irdyna Azhar and
Norshahila binti Mohd Shaini.
In collaboration with a local publishing house to promote the new book by Oscar Wilde, local book reviewers went viral for controversial reasons when encouraging people to read the Canterville Ghost on social media.
Hello everyone, back with me again in Nisa Book Rack. With me today, our famous book talker Sofia the first.
Hi everyone!
As usual, today we're going to review a book. So babe, what's your current read?
I'm currently reading The Canterville Ghost.
I've read that too. It's The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde, right?
Yes, he is my favorite author, you guys.
Ooh, taste.
Wait,
Oscar who? Tak kenal pun.
Oscar who? Tak kenal pun.
Sofia, you should tell them about the author.
So guys, Wilde is a famous Irish aesthetic writer and he is known as Lord of Language.
Wow, why is he called the Lord of the Language?
So basically, he uses English as a tool to highlight the beauty of the language. I love his writing style, you know. So as you can see in the Canterville Ghost, it is full with wit and humor. So spoiler alert, it is very funny to see how the twins are more ghosts than the ghost himself. So like in the story, when the autistic twin play pranks at the ghost, painting the sheet and also scaring him with fake blood stain. And to add, their playful and mischievous behavior also represent a new version and a less traditional approach to the supernatural and seriousness of a ghost story.
I guess it's better than the typical classic ghost stories which have a dark and ominous atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's another comment.
Boo, but the book is lame. The humor is very repetitive. True, very predictable.
The book is lame. His humor in the book is very repetitive. And it is so predictable.
What do you mean it's lame? Basically on Goodreads, read of all skill level find it to be interesting and entertaining. He used humor and wit in each chapter as it is his way to convey the heavy and somewhat sensitive theme.
The book talks about the cultural clashes between American and British, right?
Yeah, it's about the brash American family versus the traditional British. So because of the humorous scenes in the story, the readers can be exposed to different culture, perspectives, to the interactions between the characters, but they can still maintain their interest.
I agree with you.
Oh, I forgot to add, the language is also clear and straightforward, making it easy for beginners like us, like you who hates him, and non-fluent English speakers to follow the plot and understand the story's event.
True. So they can read the narrative without getting bogged down by complex syntax or vocabulary like you see in Shakespeare.
True.
But he's biased though. True, he's biased.
But he's biased though. What do you mean he's biased?
He sounds like he's anti-American.
She said he sounds like he's anti-American.
Anti-American? No, he does not explicitly pick a side between British and American characters in the story. But I guess we can say that he uses the story to what we call playfully satirize both British and American stereotypes.
Okay, you used the wrong word. I don't think they understand satirize, Nisa. You should explain further.
Sorry guys, too emotional. So Wilde actually presents a light-hearted critique of both American and also British culture. And to prove my point, I think I need to tell a bit about the story. Spoiler alert, as we can read from the story, it may seem like Wilde is anti-American as he highlights the brashness and materialism which are usually associated with American society.
Yeah, I know which part you're talking about.
So basically, the artist family is shown as being more concerned with practical matters and material possessions rather than supernatural beliefs or traditions. Remember when they bring modern cleaning supplies to deal with the ghost blood stains instead of being frightened.
Yeah, that scene is so hilarious, guys.
I know, right? So this portrayal is actually a commentary on America's materialistic approach.
So true, because White also touches on the rigidness and stuffiness of the British upper class, right?
Yes, that's actually the whole point. And in the story, the Lord Canterville is shown as a proud British aristocrat who's deeply attached to the traditions of Canterville Chase and very anxious to preserve the dignity of his family. So dear user Uki Wuki, as Oscar is not biased, as we can see the way he employs satire to critique and playfully mock the cultural traits and traditions associated with both societies, not just American.
True, I agree with her.
Boo, tak nak beli, tak nak beli.
The comments are flooding in.
You guys are paid, boo-boo.
I think we should end the live.
Yeah.
Canterville floor,
Okay,
floor, floor,
see you
floor.
next time.
Boo-boo.
Bye.
Wow, remarkable situations of the social media influences have been observed. I hope there is a positive outcome for the publishing house. Continuing with international news, a concerning trend has been observed in European countries. The number of lonely elderly individuals is on the rise year after year, highlighting the prevalent issue of loneliness and isolation. The elderly population faces emotional hardships as social exclusion leads to a surge in loneliness. They may be perceived as less relevant, leading to feelings of being ignored. Not only that, they are also assumed to have a decline in health or cognitive abilities. Thus, people tend to underestimate the capabilities and potential of older adults, leaving them feeling isolated. Recently, in a fiction by Oscar Wilde reflected old people like the main character, Sir Simon Canterville, who is believed to live in the house from 1584 as a ghost after the death of his wife. As the novella progresses, the artist's family members dismiss Sir Simon's haunting attempts and respond to his antics with humor, skepticism, and practical solution. When the ghost clanks his chains and makes loud noises, the family responds by offering him lubricant to oil his chains, ignoring his attempts to frighten them. For the family and others, Sir Simon probably haunted them to carry out his ghostly duty and tradition. However, it could simply be Sir Simon seeking attention from the family. His desperation for attention is evident in his repeated haunting attempts, which become increasingly elaborate. In the real world today, some people may dismiss or downplay the challenges faced by older adults, assuming the age-related issues are easily managed. Now, reporting live from England, we have Miss Sophie.
Good afternoon, Norshahila. I'm Miss Sofia reporting live from Canterville Senior Care, England. With me here, the director, Miss Kate Middleton. Could you give us your opinion on the loneliness issue among our senior citizens?
Okay. Thank you for the question. So elderly in the center tend to behave like kids most of the time because loneliness has caused seniors to seek attention from people around them. The top reason for seeking attention is because they are particularly susceptible to loneliness because they often live alone. They feel isolated and unimportant, so they reach out more frequently to feel like they are still part of the society. Hence, do not leave our senior citizens isolated because one day we all will become old like them too.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kate Middleton, for the advice. That's the latest information from here. Back to you in the studio, Miss Shahila.
Thanks for your great reporting. We'll keep an eye on the situation, and if there are any updates, we'll get back to you, Miss Sophie. Lonely death phenomenon cases were reported by media across the world due to factors like mental health problems, including social isolation. That is similar to what is faced by Sir Simon in the Canterville Ghost, who faces emotional loneliness as an elderly. Loneliness and isolation certainly affect people in many other ways. So over to you, Miss Irdyna Azhar.
Yes, thank you, Norshahila. In the Canterville Ghost, due to the lack of human connections, the ghost's inability to communicate with the living or establish any meaningful connections intensifies his isolation. Humans in the story see him as a mere curiosity or a source of amusement, preventing any chance of genuine companionship. The absence of empathy and understanding from others deepens Sir Simon's sense of alienation from the world. As a result of his deepening despair and hopelessness, Sir Simon's mental state deteriorated rapidly. In a fit of madness and frustration, he resorts to extreme measures to gain the attention and respect he craves. In his deluded mind, committing a murder may be the ultimate way to command fear and awe, even if it's through horrific means. In our present time, in regards to the 3 shootings that happened recently in California, which has been tied to a perpetrator who may have exhibited signs of social isolation and violent behavior according to authorities. In Monterey Park, police documents revealed the 72-year-old suspect had been divorced from his wife since 2006. Lived alone in Hammett, about 30 miles southeast of Riverside, he was angry and resentful. Wei, a professor of developmental psychology at New York University Steinhardt School of Culture, Education and Human Development, she believed that the rise of male loneliness may be a factor in the rise of violence. Here with us now on the phone is Dr. Wei. Dr. Wei, can you tell us more about the relation between isolation and violence?
Yes, from the years of studying boys through adolescence, it was apparent that loneliness perpetrating violence may be affecting American men more than women due to males suffering a friendship recession. When they are younger, around age 12 or 13, they talk about wanting close friendships and emotional intimacy. However, as they get older and start experiencing expectations of traditional masculinity, they start disconnecting from their desires and feeling much more isolated. The disconnection, the loss that no one seems to care that our boys are feeling isolated, they start to disconnect from their own humanity because they are not able to find the relationship they want. And many are depressed and angry about it.
Right. Thank you for the useful insights, Dr. Wei. And to wrap up this edition of Nightline, you have been with us, Irdyna Azhar,
Norshahila binti Mohd Shaini.
Thank you for tuning in and stay safe, Malaysia.